spring memorial, not spring memorial, sorry, spring grand service in honor of our divine child, Tenchi Kane no Kami-san. I'm glad the weather is really quite pleasant because from like 2 days ago, we've been getting warnings from the DSM saying that we're going to have flash flood warning, and there's going to be a thunderstorm out in the water. And they keep extending the watch, the flood watch. And it's still, the rain is still holding up. And we thank Kami-san and everyone's prayers. I know you're all praying for me. Today we are very lucky to have the Reverend Yasutake with the Konkō Mission of Wailuku, Maui. He will be talking to us about the peace. I know we are all waiting, looking forward to dinner, but let us feed ourselves spiritually first and listen with our eyes and our ears, and then enjoy a wonderful evening. Thank you very much.
Since I am currently facing dental difficulties,
Yeah, I think upside down. Yeah, that way.
better?
Yeah, it's fine.
But can everyone hear me though? Is it okay? I think if everyone wants to see that kind of gaps, they can just look at their garage opening or something. Originally, I was going to use this to kind of hide behind while I gave the sermon today, but you know what? This is kind of muffling my voice too, so just bear with me. This we'll get rid of. So, thank you for attending today's, not the memorial, but the spring grand service for Tenchi Kane no Kami. By adding your thoughts and prayers to ours, we are able to conduct a proper service of thanksgiving today. So thank you very much. Now, every so often, the Hombu Headquarters organization creates new themes for our faith practice. Does everyone remember when, for example, the Ayo Kakeo theme came out? Yeah? Now, I call them themes, but you could maybe think of them as faith goals or maybe directions. My understanding of these themes is that we are to use them as guidelines, inspiration for our own faith development, kind of like a recipe which all the believers across the world can use in our daily faith practice. Now last year, we saw the introduction of a new movement which is meant to guide us for the next 10 years. They come out with one every 10 years. Okay? So the one that came out was the movement for the mutual fulfillment of kami and people. Sounds different from the one at your church? Wahiawa's one is how?
You don't have that.
Oops. Well, I know, like for example, Honolulu, it's a little bit different. Well, the Board of Trustees spent a lot of time preparing a translation of the Japanese version that had come out, and finally came out with one that the majority of the board could agree with. But today, I would like to introduce to everyone the version that the Wailuku Church uses and explain how we intend to use it in the hope that you understand, in the hope that the way you understand the movement might change and become more central in your faith practice instead of something you read in mala mala ma or see stuck to a wall. Yeah? Now, the title, the way we did it, is The Movement for the Mutual Fulfillment of Kami and People. In our version, we use people instead of humanity. The reason? Because it sounds friendly. No, nothing too profound about that. But between the title and the first verse, we put our goal. At Wailuku, we read the movement together, everyone together, after every service, morning, afternoon, the monthly services. We'll also do it for the memorial service and Daisai. Of course, New Year's too. Now, why we read this is to remind ourselves, to program the movement into our heads, so it becomes second nature. Please don't think of it as brainwashing, but repeating it every day to remember. Yeah. Now, the first verse we translated as, I will seek and receive mediation. The first time I read the original Japanese, I thought that this movement kind of reads like a checklist of faith development. The movement to me is like a list of stages that we should attain before moving on to the next stage or level. Now, for most of us, our entry into Konko began with seeking help. That usually begins with coming to church and asking for help. The sensei, sensei will have the approach, the okekai, and talk about your concerns or problems. No? The sensei will then impart advice, quote a teaching perhaps, and will most likely offer to pray with you for blessings. Congratulations, you've just experienced your first mediation session a la Konko. A mediation, toritsugi, is one of the things that separates us from other religions. The most important duty of a Konko minister is that of being mediator. This, I believe, is a fundamental aspect, a core element of Konko. Now, regular mediation, talking with sensei, you gradually learn more and more about Konko. You receive teachings, you learn about our relationship with Tenchi Kana no Kami, the founder, Ikigami Konko Daijin, and also about the Mitama spirits. Second sentence, stage 2. We translated it as, I will realize Kami's divine blessings. At this point, you have begun to understand that your world is full of blessings. You begin to see things in a different way. Life looks and feels different. You will find that situations that may have been stressful before are minor at best now. Good example, road rage. If you don't see with everything as a blessing, all you're thinking about is, why did that guy just cut me off without a signal and force me to stop? And you start getting irritated, and it builds and it builds and it builds. Right? Something happens, you take it as a certain, which is a normal way, and it gets worse. Everyone's had a situation like that, right? Okay, no need to raise your hand. Thank you for nodding, those of you that have. Well, when you fully realize Kami's blessings, when you realize that you are a blessed child of Kami, I believe that makes you automatically to level 3. The third line in the movement, we translate it as, I will live a life of gratitude and joy. The full realization of Kami's blessings will enable you to have a good life. Understanding that everything that happens, that everything you see, everything you experience is a blessing, is possible because of Kami's grace changes your attitude in life. So when a person cuts you off, you're not thinking, ooh, you're more like, please drive safe, please help me get safely. Has everyone gotten to that point yet? Okay, same people who nodded are looking the other way right now. Well, realizing the blessings leads to a life of gratitude and joy because everything is a blessing. Yeah? Your days will become filled with gratitude to Kami-sama, and you'll become happier than you've ever been before. But without truly realizing Kami's blessings, you still have that stress. You still have that negative, that darkness. Life is a chore. But if you've completed the previous level, you have attained full realization of the infinite blessings that surround you and fills your life. How could you not be joyful? How could you not feel gratitude? Reaching this stage, I think faith practice really begins to make more and more sense. As you begin to open your spiritual eyes, you will start noticing more things that you took for granted or looked at in a bad way. At the same time, I also think you begin to look at others differently too. Which leads us to the next stage. We translated the next line, with the heart of Kami, I will pray for, save, and guide others to this faith. In the Wailuku version, we added to this way of faith at the end of the sentence. But first, at this point in your faith development, you have a strong relationship with Kami. And as a natural progression in your faith, perhaps partly in gratitude for the blessings, or partly out of a desire to share your joy, you will want to help others. Praying for and saving others must be done with the heart of Kami. Sometimes when a person helps someone, there could be a selfish reason. Maybe reward, or you're trying to make points with that girl you like, or maybe you're hoping for points with Kami. In other words, you have a motive, an ulterior motive. A lot of times, when you try to help someone, sadly, because the reason wasn't completely pure, you're only thinking of saving the other. Never mind yourself, never mind the time and effort, or even money, right? In other words, without that heart of Kami, sometimes your help doesn't quite go the way you hoped it would. Has anyone had that happen? Well, I'm sure it has. Definitely has for me. Painful lesson too, that was. Sometimes, okay, I already went to that part. If you have a heart like Kami, what do you think Kami thinks? Kami only wants to save people. That's all. Kami's not thinking of prayers of thanksgiving afterwards. Kami-sama not thinking about osonai. Yeah? Kami only wants to save people. That is having a heart of Kami. If you have the heart of Kami, when you seek to help others, you also gain virtue. Now the final part that we added at the end of that sentence, the to this way of faith. Now originally, in the Japanese version, I felt it was implied that when you said guide others, you mean guide others to this way of faith. In Japanese, michibiki, literally that would mean guide others, yeah? Or sometimes we use the word tebiki. Michibiki comes up a lot in prayers and teachings. And it's always been my understanding that in Konko Kyo, Michibiki means to guide others to this way of faith. Now, if you regularly receive blessings through mediation, if you live a life with happiness and fulfillment, you would naturally, I think, want other people to have the same thing. You want to share that. Yeah? Share this way of faith with the people around you, but never force this way of faith on others. Kami would not be pleased. That's why in Konko Kyo we don't go walking around knocking on people's doors. Right? And I know many of you have been irritated by someone coming, telling them, if you don't come to my church, you're going to hell. I've had that happen. And we have a big sign that says Konkō Mission right in the driveway. I thought, woo, gutsy. But, you know, they're doing it for their reasons. When Konko Kyo, we don't do that. Yeah? We're not going to stop someone in the parking lot. Hey, you need to live a life of gratitude and joy. Let me talk to you about Konko Kyo. We don't quite do it that way. And as you try and share this way of faith, trying to guide others, you know, there will always be those that aren't quite interested in practicing this faith, yeah? But you can still pray for them and help save them. This will please Kami greatly. Now the final sentence of the movement for the mutual fulfillment of Kami and people is, I will actualize the way of Kami and people. Now our goal is for this world to become one, where everyone lives together in harmony, cooperation, we coexist. We want to help create a world where wars don't exist because we mutually coexist. Ayo Kakyo, the world of Kami. Yeah? Having practiced this true way of faith, you will have become a different person from before. I believe your life will be virtually free of stress and strife. Every day will be a joyful day, filled with blessings. And you will be doing what you can to help Kami save others. Having awakened your heart of Kami, your efforts on behalf of others will be good and selfless. And as more and more people are saved, Kami will be fulfilled as well. Now this movement, the movement for the mutual fulfillment of Kami and people, is basically a roadmap of faith progression, a means by which you can check your own progress. At every sentence I asked you, are you there? Thank you for not answering out loud, because in a way you should be scolding me. In Konko Kyo, faith practice is like your relationship with Kami-sama. And because you are a unique individual, in that sense your faith will be unique too. The way you relate with Kami-sama, with Konko Daijin, with the Mitama spirits. So why does Honbu produce these themes and guidelines then? Yeah, if faith practice is supposed to be so personal, why do we have to have that kind of thing? What do you think? Well, to me, I think it's because as we each have unique abilities and talents that allow us all these infinite possibilities and different ways of practicing this faith, it's important that we have something like a strong, solidly grounded foundation for all of us to be on the same page. So even as maybe the way you, well, okay, let's take Osonai. People, there will be money or there will be food for the Nawarai, which we're all looking forward to, so I'll close this pretty soon. You Osonai your Goyo, volunteering, helping at the church. You know, those of you who go to Koikini, for example, that's also Osonai. Yeah. But unless we're all on that same foundation, it becomes a big mess. And that's how you can end up with all kinds of different Konko Kyos too. The headquarters church, by coming out with these faith practice themes or movements, if you will, seeks to, I could use all kinds of words, corral us, but that's different. That's like we're being trapped, yeah? I don't think it's like that. I think it's more like shepherd us in this particular direction, making sure that we don't go a little too far off on our own, as I am kind of right now off the script, and get lost or change it. So at the Wailuku Church, when the movement came out and we all read it together, came up with our interpretation, we decided that we would read it every day and make it a part of our lives. And on personal level, we'll look at that movement like a checklist. Okay, where am my level 4 or 5? I'm supposed to be, but kind of some days I don't do enough level 1. Each of you will have your own way, but please use it. Please read it with a different eyes. Get your own interpretation of it. But please use it, because this is our faith theme for the next 9 years. So see how you can apply it to your own faith practice. So all I did today was kind of share how we looked at it, Wailuku, and hopefully that might give you ideas on how you yourself can use it. Or if instead it gave you more questions than anything, I'll be downstairs with you too, so please ask me that. Everyone, thank you very much for your patience and for ignoring certain anatomical details. My poor sister's really pissed right now, so I better shut up. Thank you very much for coming tonight. And hopefully everyone will be downstairs for fellowship dinner. Thank you very much.
With a heart caught up in doubt and worry, I face my life every morning, wanting to shine, but somehow holding back joy and fear, sorrow within my heart. Still I know, even one as small as I can run into someday and find a shining, shimmering, brilliant light flowing from a path that never ends. Instead of losing hope or fearing what's ahead, let's keep on moving forward with our heads held high, for we are all living in a
今晩ありがとうございました。We just observe the spiritual service for Tenchi Kaneの神様。Thank you for Reverend Sensei for his presentation. When I was listening to his speech, I just remember there's one message. Konko sama, the fourth Konko sama used to say, we try to become happy. We want to fulfill our lives. But one measure, if we are taking that course of happiness, is to find out we have success, appreciation for any action. Even for eating, do we say thank you? ありがとうございます。いただきます。When you drive, you say thank you, ありがとうございます。For the car you drive, or for the road you travel. And for this church, we can have this service today. The foundation of this church is Takashi. She served 32 years. Physically and spiritually, she has been serving us for 41 years. But this church does not exist by Takashi's devotional knowledge. Takashi became Konko Mission because of the Kodama Sensei. Without Kodama Sensei, this church did not exist. But even Kodama Sensei, Kono church would not have existed without about church. So when I think all the way to Konko-sama, the founder, without Konko-sama, Konko church doesn't exist, Wahiawa church doesn't exist. This is my way of thinking. So try to find out if you have appreciation for whatever you do in your daily living. But Konko-sama said, これがあるかどうか言うの。He tried to say by saying ありがとうございます。He tried to connect to 神様。Like Roy Sensei said, Shinji is our relationship to 神様。Konko-sama used so many expressions of Shinji Shiden is the most used term in entire Konko scripture. But he did not specify what's the meaning of Shinji Shiden. When Konko-sama said, Shinji Seyo, then everybody said, Ogami Hajimeru. But that Konko-sama intended to practice faith. We have to find out the meaning. We have to define what the meaning of Shinji is. The most common element of Shinji Suru is appreciation, acknowledging Kami-sama's help or gift. So even when we say itadakimasu, we connect to Kami-sama. So this is the way how we live Konko. If this accumulation of these elements helps you to become happy. Because if you become unhappy by saying, ありがとうございます, then stop engaging in Konko office. Just try. Thank you. ありがとう。It's so simple, but it works.
Holding hands with my friend standing by my side, swinging on